Occasionally, you'll have a job that a customer has given you a deposit for, and then the customer cancels the job, and you need to refund the deposit that you've taken on the job. In this example, we'll be giving the refund back to the customer in the form of a check as opposed to cash. So in order to do this, we'll first need to change the work order into an invoice, and then after we have an invoice, we'll do a credit invoice, and then we'll cut a check. So we need to first look up the work order. Now once we have the work order pulled up, we're going to need to put it into an invoice. Now the terms on this particular job are COD. So because of that, in order to change this into an invoice, we would normally need to receive payment equal to the total of the invoice. But since we're going to be doing a refund, we won't be wanting to do that. So we have two options here how we can change this into an invoice. One option would be to change the amount on the line items so that they equal the payment that we've already received, in this case $200. The other option would be to change the terms from something other than COD so that we can then save this ticket as an invoice. Now in this particular instance, the payment on this job was a check, but it really doesn't matter how the customer initially paid you. If you're going to be issuing a check, this is still the procedure you would follow. So we'll go ahead to the Customer tab, change the terms here to net 30, and now we can choose Save and Invoice and change this work order into an invoice. Now that we've made this an invoice, we'll do our credit by going to POS and choosing Credit Rebill. In the Credit Rebill screen, we're going to choose option number 2, a full credit to an existing invoice with no rebill. We are crediting the current invoice, so we'll say yes. And then here, it's asking if we're going to be issuing a check out of our accounts payable, which we are. So we'll choose yes. And even if you don't have the Main Street Accounts Payable module, if you're going to be issuing a check, you could say yes here. We'll choose Next. We need to pick a reason why we're giving the credit. Now you can add to this list by going into the Configuration Manager in the Administrator module and going into Credit Reasons. After we've put our reason in, we'll choose Finish. We'll say yes and to confirm that we're issuing a credit. And now we're on the credit. Now we could make any changes necessary. But at this point we really don't need to make any changes. Notice here when we go to the Payments tab, because we said yes that we would be issuing a check, the payment type has automatically been changed to Refund Check for us. So now we're just simply going to choose Save. It will create a credit. $200 will now be placed into our refunds and allowances account that we have set up for the refund check, and this $200 will also have been marked not to go into our daily deposit since it's not money that we're receiving but giving back. After we've created our credit, we can now go in and create our check for our customer. So we'll go into the AP module, Checks Payments, and then Miscellaneous Checks. We'll simply make out our check here to our customer, Sally Smith, and we will use the miscellaneous vendor. We'll put in our memo, and then we'll put in the amount that we're refunding. And then for the account for General Ledger, again, we want this to go to whatever account that refund check has been set up for. We've set it up for our refunds and allowances, or refunds. Now if you're not sure what account you have the refund check set up for, you can go to Admin, Configuration, and then go to the Payment Types. And in the Payment Types section, we'll just do a search by double-clicking Search. In the list here, we'll find a refund check. Go to the Edit tab, and then here for the GL account, we see it set to 4830 refunds. and it is set as a non-deposit payment, which is what we want because we don't want this money going into our daily deposit at the end of the day. If this general ledger account is empty, you'll want to set that general ledger account to one of your existing accounts, or if you don't have a refund account set up, you'll want to set that up in your chart of accounts first and then set it here. And then if you had already created the credit before this was set up, you'll want to go back to that credit and resave it so that it will post to the appropriate account. After we've created our miscellaneous check, then we can go ahead and either print that check or save it as a no-print check if you've just handwritten the check. And that's how you would give a refund to a customer who's given you a deposit in which you're going to cut them a check back.